Hey, what's going on, everybody out there? This is Jakejames Lugo. Welcome to the channel and welcome to a brand new episode of JJ's One Man Podcast. I know, it's been a hot minute since I did one of these extra episodes. I've just been busy making content for you guys for a variety of different things. Again, all the reviews, all the different Let's Plays, all the previews. It's been busy over here at JJ's camp. Over here in the Crystarium, I've been doing things, okay? So bear with me. But I wanted to come back because I've been marinating on something for, I want to say maybe about a week, give or take, about 5 days or so. And I hesitated about talking about this because I wasn't really sure how to present how I felt. And after kind of doing some thinking, after just like kicking back and actually really just fiddling around with some of my thoughts, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just simple enough to just present my ideas and just talk about this stuff because I feel like the conversation should be had and at least, my thoughts should be put out there into the world as far as with you guys, who have supported me here on the channel and stuff. So big thank you to all of you for that. By the way, it's Sunday morning. I'm having some coffee. So if you hear like little clanking sounds here, that's because I have my little cup right on hand as I'm drinking coffee. But because this is a podcast, you guys won't be able to see me. So let's talk about this stuff that I saw pop up in the news, right? So the things that I'm referring to, if you haven't already seen by the title at this point, the stuff that's been going on with the IGDA, as well as also Jennifer Schruel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The reason why I was hesitant to talk about this is because I've had an experience, quote unquote, with Jennifer Schruel in one way or another. Let me put it that way. So if you didn't know the news, I'm not going to summarize all of it. It's already out there in a variety of different places that's been reported by gamesindustry.biz and a few other spots. Strangely enough, not a lot of other larger gaming websites, which, is questionable in of itself. But the main thing is that Jennifer Schruel was let go, quote unquote, or stepped down from the IGDA as the chairwoman of the WIGSIG, which is the Women in Gaming section of the IGGA, which is, the big group that has a whole bunch of game developers that are together. They do different types of events and help out other developers find work and a lot of other different things, right? The problem is, though, with Jennifer Schruel in particular, which a lot of people have had in the past, is that she's been not a very nice person, to say the least, to a lot of different people. A lot of her opinions on social media have been very, very hostile, for lack of a better word. I mean, the thing is that's weird, especially with a lot of people on social media where they tend to be very like bold in your face and almost obnoxious and rude at times, is that a lot of us are all on the same page. We all have like similar goals. We all have like similar objectives as far as making our industry better. But some people just go about it in like the worst way possible, in the absolute wrong way. Whether it's saying things just to look good towards people, whether it's being nasty and rude towards other individuals, whether it's saying things and not actually feeling that way about them or doing one thing and saying another and vice versa. It gets weird and crazy. But the big thing with her is that a lot of the stuff that she had been speaking out about and had been talking about for a long time, she ended up almost participating in. And it's a weird sense of karma that kind of comes right back around, in some way for most people. And what sucks about this whole situation is that a lot of people feel very betrayed, and I can't blame them. So how does this all relate to me in some way? Well, in the past, I've had a run-in with Jennifer Schruel where originally I was inviting her to come onto a podcast to come talk about what she did for her job, with the WIGSIG, with the IGDA. I always keep messing up that acronym, right? Because it's so like, you think you're saying it one way and then it's the complete opposite. But I invited her on a podcast a while back when I was with my previous website to come talk about stuff, what she does for her job. And as opposed to just politely saying no and just saying, hey, I'm too busy or anything, there's nothing wrong with that, refusing to come on a podcast. But what she ended up doing was basically making a statement and saying stuff about us that was 100% not true. That was like inferring stuff about me, inferring stuff about my website at the time. And it was just very not cool. So it was a whole big song and dance that ended up being very messy for everybody involved, where, because the main reason she didn't want to come on the podcast was because we had reported on the stuff that was going on with Aziz Ansari the day before. If you guys don't know what that is, it's another whole rabbit hole worth of stuff. Basically, Aziz Ansari was accused of certain stuff that had happened based off some date that he had went on, and it was this whole big debate of like, okay, what is what, like how are certain things perceived, can you separate the artist from the art, and all these other like crazy discussions. Basically the main thing was we had to report on that because we had an entertainment section at the time and we were doing entertainment news, and that was something that happened in the news. And her reasoning was because we talked about that and because we had said certain things about it, which was basically just discussing the issue at hand, that we didn't have our philosophies and our line of thinking, quote unquote. I remember that. That's a quote that was in line with the wig sig, and that's why she refused. It was basically an indirect version and an indirect way of trying to come out and saying that we were misogynist or that we were sexist or that we didn't support women or that we didn't do any of these other things. And I was like, what? Like, hold up a second. Like, I'm over here inviting you to come on a podcast to talk about your job. Like, how is that not supporting women? Or why is it that you're getting caught up on this other news that has nothing to do with us that was reported on the show? And it was just weird. It was a very weird situation. So after going back and forth, one of the things was that we came out on the next podcast afterwards and said like, hey, like, this isn't cool. Like, this is not right. You know, if you don't want to come on a show, that's fine, but don't kind of like insinuate something about us. And it was really garbage. So it ended up being where she had went online and started saying things about us, like seeking her followers on us, which I think is not cool by anybody's standards. It's crazy that you see a lot of people in the industry come out and say like content creators and influencers shouldn't do stuff like that, but then give them a situation where they're able to do so and they'll immediately do that. And I think that's so wrong, especially for a garbage reason in that case, or any other like really like crappy reason like that. So anyway, I have a very bad impression of Jennifer Schrull as it is, you know, based on what I've seen with that or what I experienced with that, but also what I've seen her say in the mainstream, or like in social media, just basically just going after people, just being nasty or saying things about people that is just not right. You know, you could stand up for diversity and inclusion. You could stand up for equality amongst all people without having to be a jerk towards others. Like, there's just a better way to go about this stuff and a better way to get results for the goal that you're trying to go for. And I don't think she really understands that, you know, neither as the WIGSIG chairman or as a person in the games industry. But that's neither here nor there. What was the main thing, though? She ended up getting accused and pretty much admitted on Twitter some of the stuff that she was accused about. And it ended up being where she lost her, was it her kind of like award that she got from the Game Awards, which is that class, that graduating class thing that they do now every year. She ended up stepping down from the as chairwoman from the WIGSIG at the IGDA and all these other things that were coming out about her. What I found really strange about all this, right? And let me take a sip of coffee because this is all too crazy, right? What I find strange about all this is that only a few places reported on it. And what sucks about it is that had it been anybody else and it wasn't someone that was the chairwoman of the IDGA WIGSIG, other people would have jumped on it. Other people would have talked about it. Other people would have reported on it. And it would have gotten much more wider discussion than what it was getting now. Because now it's been like, what, a week or change? Or maybe a little bit longer since stuff actually went down. Actually, now that I think about it, it's actually a little bit longer than that because the stuff that everybody was sourcing, you know, from the different stuff from like the gamesindustry.biz article and a few other spots, they were all sourcing tweets that happened way before any of the reporting went down. And it's just weird because you look at places like Kotaku that have reported on what people have said in the past or what certain actions that people have done or been accused of, and they jump on it like it's like, you know, like white on rice. Like, it's absolutely insane. They're so quick about it. But when you look at something like this, you know, there's always this question of like, okay, is there other reasons why you're not reporting on this? Because it's not even the type of person. It's not even the individual. It's the fact that they went on public and admitted it. That's the thing that I get really kind of bent out of shape. It's like, hold up, this person admitted to doing wrong and was in a position of pretty significantly, you know, up there in the IGDA. Again, you see, I'm already messed up the acronym. The IGDA. And it's like, why is nobody talking about this? Why is none of these websites reporting on this? Like, this just seems wrong and weird, especially with someone who was in a position of power, quote unquote, and was pretty much abusing it and was at pretty much like taking advantage of people in different ways. And that's not cool. Like, there's no place for that in our industry, in the games industry specifically, but in any industry for that matter. You know, that, what does that say, you know, towards, or was that give an impression towards all the people that were affected by that? That's wrong. That's messed up. This was a person that was apparently doing some wrong and then came out out and apologized for it, admitting this. You know, there's a statement you could actually go see on Twitter. There's a statement that everybody has sourced in all their articles. It's just really weird, and it feels like either the goalpost or some of the bars for par, are being moved constantly based on situation to situation. And I totally see why certain individuals, you know, that talk about the games industry, that talk about the gaming media in different places, always have ammo at their disposal to talk about stuff, because it's nonsense like that just seems wrong and just seems not right. But either way, regardless, though, where do I stand with all this? I feel like karma is a really weird and real thing, big thing, you know, amongst people. It always seems to be where the people that feel like they're above karma always end up getting affected by it in some way down the line, because karma just never, it's always going to come back around. If you treat people like garbage, if you treat people badly, or if you do bad things and think that you're going to get away with it and get around it and take advantage of people, it's always going to come back around towards you. And in this case, I feel like justifiably so, karma came back around and just, you know, it affects Jennifer Schrull's career in a way that she's responsible for. She's totally responsible for the way that she allowed things to happen, or what she did, what she consciously chose to do. So I have no sympathy for that. And it has nothing to do with my bad impression of her the first time that we came into contact or we crossed paths. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm just not going to sit here and be like, you know, some of the people that I've even seen on Twitter, like, giving excuses for this type of behavior and the type of stuff that, again, she admitted to. And I'm like, you guys are hilarious, because there's no excuse that's worthy enough to give to something like this when it's so bad, and especially when it's affected so many people, especially individuals who are constantly talking about this stuff in the games industry. But regardless, though, it is what it is. But I am curious to know, like, where do you guys stand on this? You know, in the comments section down below, tell me, you know, what do you guys think of the Jennifer Schrull story? Have you read up on it? Did you hear about it from other places? Because, again, there's not a lot of people that were talking about it. I only heard about it from a few channels because I follow different people in different places, and it was being passed around amongst those individuals. And I was like, okay, let me read up on this. And I was surprised to see that it was her. And again, I was just saying to myself, I was like, damn, man, karma is weird. But what do you guys think about all this stuff? And what other things in the games industry do you feel like sometimes get underreported or just don't get talked about when they probably should, you know, especially if it's like on important subjects? Talk to me about that stuff down below in the comment section. I also do have to say thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting the channel. We just hit 2,700 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We're just under 3K now. I'm hoping to hit 3K at some point soon. I'm still trying to get the goal of 10K, you know, trying to pass that point, and I'm trying to get more exposure, doing a lot of different things, a lot of different videos, try to collab with different people, really putting in work out here. But thanks to all of your support, I'm still in the game, I'm still doing stuff, and I'm trying to do more and more and more to hopefully actually, build up the channel even more and do even bigger and better things for everybody. So anyway, I will talk to you guys again very soon. I'll be back again with a brand new review that I'm actually working on. I'm actually going to do some filming later today, but be on the lookout for that. And make sure that you join the Discord server. If you haven't joined the Discord server, there's a link down below in the pinned comment, as well as also the description box. Anybody could join up. Anybody could come talk games and all that other jazz. But I will talk to you all again real soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.